It is frightening, really, how that cliche, it seems like a cliche, but it's actually very true that teams are very vulnerable, are very susceptible to conceding just after they've scored themselves. It just seems to be that lack of concentration. They're still busy high-fiving each other, either mentally or literally, and they're still busy soaking up some of the cheers from the fans, and suddenly they're picking the ball out of their own net. That seems to be what's happened to Bolton in that game as we cross the 40-minute mark here at the John Smith Stadium. Still goalless between Huddersfield and Leicester City. As I mentioned, Leicester City have big ambitions as far as this season is concerned. Started the season with a 2-1 win against Sheffield Wednesday. The next game is away to Preston at the weekend. It's followed up with a game away to Charlton, then at home to Birmingham City to end the month of August. Will certainly be a decent game. So back here at the John Smiths, it's Huddersfield now having to do some defending as Alves trying to turn at the edge of the area, runs straight into Wallace. Sumare now with a ball to not... Well, it was a ball intended for McAteer, but it's behind him. Yeah, no real way of getting on the end of that, so Ruffin now has the ball for Huddersfield. To Ben Wiles, back to Ruffin. Casamu, stripping a little bit deeper this time. So the visitors just quite happy to press here, hoping that they can draw him. Oh, well, just as I was about to say that what Leicester are trying to do is put a press on Huddersfield and try and draw a mistake out of the home side. I barely even had time to say those words, and Patson Daka actually managed to block the ball off the goalkeeper, Lee Nichols. But as Nichols was trying to clear it long, and Daka closed him down, in the end, the ball goes straight out for a goal kick. But stats in this game: 3 shots from Huddersfield, 3 from Leicester. One shot on target from Huddersfield, but that was the effort from 45 yards from Dion Charles, where Stolarczyk could see it coming at him from last week, so there was absolutely no problem at all. We could see that one, and he made an easy save, but that does go down statistically as the only effort on target that we've had in the game this evening. So that tells its own story for all the possession that Leicester City have had. I'm going to mention that. I should back that up with 59% to 41 is the exact stat here in terms of possession. But both sides with an XG that's, well, if you added the 2 XGs up, it's 0.33. So they're not spoiling us in terms of attacking possession right now, but it's still a fascinating watch here between a resilient and hard-working Huddersfield side and a more technical Leicester side who are struggling to get into that technical style of play really for the time being. So yes, plenty for both managers to think about. Interestingly enough, I thought we might have had a drinks break halfway through the half this evening. Where our studio is for this off-tube studio commentary, it's only about 20 miles or so from Huddersfield, and as I say, just walking around the city today, I thought I was going to melt at one stage. It was absolutely roasting because we did have a drinks break yesterday in the game between West Brom and Derby, but whether or not the referee has looked at the temperature at pitch side, or whether both managers have decided that they don't really want to have that break up in play and in the flow of the game. If they've not had it in the first half, I can't imagine they have it in the second, because obviously with every hour that temperature will be dropping slightly. So Luke Thomas now with the throw for Leicester City, back towards the halfway line. It's boot face now to Nelson down the right hand side here for McAteer. Plays it forward, but that's good work from Ruffin to charge him down, and then a ball up from Wiles, which is heavy touch there though from Dion Charles, loses the ball, and Leicester City are now back in possession. Thomas down the left-hand side towards Monga. Monga heading towards the edge of the area, trying to skip away from Lyndon Gooch, just holding it up and playing it back towards the edge of the area. Ball coming in now, and it's a scuffed effort there really. I think it was Ollie Skip that got the final touch on that, but it's an easy save in the end there for Lee Nichols. He just watches that one into his arms, as we'll see again as this ball is whipped in by Thomas. Yeah, it might have been Skip who got the last touch. In fact, it eluded Skip, and it was McAteer that actually got the final touch. But in any case, it was one that the goalkeeper could easily save. It's on the halfway line here now with Ben Wiles towards Ruffin. Last 30 seconds of the allocated 45. We'll wait and see if there's going to be any added time. Looking across at the UEFA Super Cup, that game is still goalless. And there's been 5 efforts from Spurs, only one of which has been on target. And just the one effort off target from PSG. Perhaps that Thomas Frank style of play is already showing itself in terms of Tottenham's approach. Of course, they do catch PSG in an interesting situation. PSG have only been back for pre-season for the last week. Of course, they played all the way to the final of the FIFA Club World Cup. Chelsea will be in a similar position. They've only just come back to pre-season themselves. But we're into 1 minute of added time at the end of this first half, and it's a long ball in from Luke Thomas, and Ruffin just leaves that, and that's gone out for a corner. Well, I think that Ruffin potentially could have done a little bit more with that one. I think he just assumed that there was nobody behind him, and in fact, and there was nobody behind him close enough to use the ball. I think that there was always, it was always a case that McAteer wasn't going to be able to keep that in play, but he could have tried to maybe nod that away to avoid a corner. Maybe there would have been a chance he could have still knocked it out for a throw-on, but it's going to be the first corner on the right-hand side for Leicester, and that could be significant because it means that they've got the same corner kick taker in Luke Thomas, but now it's going to be an in-swinger off his left boot, so this should be a little bit more difficult here potentially for Lee Nichols if this ball is the right one. It's towards the back post, headed across by McAteer. It's flicked up in the air and out for another corner. Decent header that from McAteer. Whether or not we're going to have time to see this second corner, we've had the full minute, and in fact when that ball went out of play we pretty much had the minute of added time. But I think the referee is going to allow this corner kick to be taken. Meanwhile, Fleetwood have equalised away to Barnsley just on half time there, so it's 1-1 there at Oakwell. But here comes the corner kick for Leicester towards the back post. It's a bit of a scramble, and Nichols doesn't get there in the first place. There's a Huddersfield man down. The referee has blown for half time. Ollie Skip has taken one to the face there. I think he's going to be all right though to pick himself up. The referee should have blown for half time even before this corner, quite frankly. I remember a game last season in the Premier League where a Brentford player, it happened at the G-Tech in any case, where there was a really bad head injury which could have been completely avoided if the referee had actually ended the game when he was supposed to. It's my real bugbear in football, I must admit, this sort of the randomness of how much time there should be added. It should be a little bit more clear-cut in terms of how much time is added. It's not just a case of a minute here or a minute there. But whilst I've been ranting about that, the referee has ended the first half. It is goalless here at the John Smith Stadium.